What is going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to, and I wanted to bring you a video about a Twitch streamer. And I forgot the guy's name, man. Kai something or other, Kai Cient or something like that. I had never heard of the guy. But anyways, he went out there in New York City in Union Square, and he was doing a giveaway, giving away these video game systems. And anyways, man, he had people without a permit. He had no permit to do this. And he had so many people come out. And they were, being violent and looting and causing problems. They were taking, shovels and axes and stuff from a construction site and being violent towards the police and apparently jumping on cars and that kind of stuff. And police got called. And they ended up arresting the Twitch streamer Kai. And anyways, this one YouTuber by the name of Hassan, and I forgot the guy's last name, but he took up for the Twitch streamer and said that the media and the police wouldn't have been involved if they were white. They wouldn't have been involved if they were white. And it's like, man, wait a minute. They're looting. They're tearing stuff up. They're being violent towards the cops. And again, the police wouldn't have been involved if they were white. Are you kidding? I mean, apparently nowadays, man, you can't arrest people if they're black because you're being white supremacist. And again, he said this was all based upon white supremacy. And it was racist and everything else. Anyways, guys, I'm going to bring you what the police chief had to say about this. And then I'm going to bring to you what Hassan, the YouTuber Hassan, had to say about this. But hey, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
All right. Just really quick. Chief Matthew, Chief of Department. Standing here with me is Chief Kip, Chief of Transit. Earlier today at about 1:30 p.m., the NYPD became aware of a crowd forming in Union Square. It was quickly determined that an influencer was posting on social media about showing up to Union Square and was encouraging all of his followers to come to the park. There were some posts also about giving away some gaming systems. At approximately 3 p.m., the post went viral, and thousands of people began to arrive at Union Square. Soon the park and the surrounding streets were overrun with people. They were obstructing both vehicular and pedestrian traffic. The NYPD responded by calling a mobilization in response to the large crowd. As the crowd grew, so did our mobilization. The crowd was swarmed when the influencer finally arrived at the park. Individuals in the park began to commit acts of violence towards the police and the public. There was a construction site within the Union Square Park, and people broke into the park and they began to throw articles that belonged to the construction site: paint cans, bottles, rocks. We had people walking around with shovels, axes, and other tools from the construction trade. And additionally, individuals were also lighting fireworks, and they were throwing them towards the police. They were throwing them towards each other. The influencer, we were able to eventually get him out of the park and remove him for safety reasons. Our officers exercised great restraint despite the aggression that they were met with and the acts of violence they were met with. Ultimately, myself and our leadership team, working in tandem with our department attorneys, did declare this gathering an unlawful assembly. The NYPD offered multiple, and I do mean multiple, opportunities for the crowd to leave. We tried to give them a means of egress for them to exit the park and exit the streets. After numerous warnings and after being assailed, hit with rocks and bottles and other debris, we started to make arrests to clear out the park. The total number of arrests is still being tallied at this point.
Right here, the black police chief is telling you they had to arrest people. They were out there in the streets. They were looting. They were tearing stuff up. They were being violent towards police. But this social justice warrior YouTuber by the name of Hassan, listen to what he had to say.
Twitch streamer Kai Cenat was supposed to do a meet and greet and a giveaway at Union Square. Guess what? It, of course, predictably went south because they're massively successful, massively popular content creators, and it turned into a riot. Breaking. Large crowd at Union Square spotted hurling objects, setting off fire extinguishers. Watch live coverage now.
Try to zoom in with our camera there and get a better look. And you can see, again, it's that grouping here. We'll start.
This is wild that this is crazy. Look at this mayhem, dude. This is insane, dude. People are fighting in the crowd. It's not a riot, it's a rally. Nah, this ain't right. People getting jumped. Cars are getting broken into. Businesses are straight looted, all because Kai Cenat wanted publicity. Shaking my head. Okay, businesses are starting to get looted. What the? You know what this is? This is racist, okay? Straight up. Yeah, they're rowdy. They're rowdy teenagers. They're making it seem like this is an organized crime ring. The one time you see like a bunch of black teenagers around, you're like, oh my God, guys, businesses are being looted.
You know what? How dare them talk about this? How dare them arrest them? How dare anyone do anything to people that are looting, that are tearing stuff up, that are causing mayhem? How dare them do anything? Because if they do, they're being racist.
What the fuck? What is happening? This is fucking mad. Did the cameraman die? What is going on? Let me tell you something, okay? The bedlam and the chaos caused when it's like organized sport event and a celebration is never reacted to in a similar capacity when it's like black teenagers involved or black people involved in general. Oh, look at them swarming. Oh my God. Dude, he's gonna die. This is crazy. This is January 6th. This is crazy. Look at the size of this fucking crowd. This is actually very dangerous.
Come on, man. Stop making everything about race. Man, people in your age group and younger, man, they have to make everything about race. It's not about race. Man, again, if white people were out there doing this, they would be out there arresting them too. Again, it does not matter about race. They're committing crimes. But again, the danger of this is, again, if you make everything about race, and you can't arrest people because, man, you're being racist. You can't go after people. You can't put things on media. You can't. Again, that right there is dangerous. You have to be. You have to be okay with arresting whoever, no matter what color they are, if they're committing crimes. So again, man, stop making everything about race.
Hey, I'm sorry. It's hard for me not to be a fucking boomer here. This is literally how crowd crush happens. This is so fucking scary. God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm 32 years old. On the one hand, I'm conflicted because like this is kind of sick. But on the other hand, you have to have like proper venue for something like this. That congestion is untenable. That is how crowd crush happens. That's terrifying. I hope nothing bad happens. I do hope that no one dies. Holy fuck. Holy moly. Right now, there's two different things that they need to do. One, they need to stop additional people from gathering into the crowd and making the crowd larger. Two, they need to start pulling slowly but surely. You can't do this with like tear gas. You can't do this with like actual fucking anti-riot measures because then that chaos will actually make the crowd crush happen. It will make it way more likely. So you have to slowly but surely start pulling people from the outsides and just like open it up as best as possible. I feel conflicted because a Twitch streamer having this level of power and prominence is crazy. Why is Hassan hating on Kai? I'm not. If anything, people are going to get mad at me for being too nice about the situation because like this could be technically very troublesome. I'm not hating on him at all. I'm literally in the middle of like fucking saying like it's wild that he has this level of influence, so much so that it like got out of control even though he had good intentions. I think we are now officially in an era where like if you're a Twitch streamer, if you're a live streamer that is like large enough, you have to do this in a professional way. I think Kai being black and his audience being like black as well well also will factor into the way that the media covers this. You know what I mean? Because people will immediately be like, oh, this is gang activity. Like when the Nelk Boys does something like this, or when Mr. Beast does something like this and it gets out of control, they're white, their audiences are white. So it's like, oh, these are kids that are being crazy. I mean, fucking influencers, who gives a shit? They're crazy. They should stop that, right? People will be critical of it, but they will not be critical of it in the same way that they're going to be critical of this. Because we've seen stuff like this happen time and time again. But the reality is that the coverage on it is always going to be teens are excited to see their creator, which is true. That is what's going on. And, you know, maybe there will be some legal repercussions, but the way that this will be received by a broader audience will absolutely be seen from the lens of white supremacy. They're going to...
You acknowledge it's dangerous because it is dangerous. Again, you have a crowd out there, a big crowd of people looting, stealing stuff, you know, beating up people, jumping on cars, you know, being violent towards the cops, tearing stuff up. Yeah, they need to be arrested and they need to have this covered on the media. And again, you're like, you know, there's no coverage of, you know, sporting events and all these other stuff where white people are out there doing. Yeah, there is. Of course there is. There have been. And again, man, I'm a good bit older than you, and believe me, I remember things, numerous events where white folks were doing stuff 30 years ago, and them talking about that, these sporting events and everything else. And again, man, people have got to be okay with arresting whoever, no matter what their color is. And again, people that, you know, like yourself, again, that want to give certain people, you know, a cover for acting whatever other way they want to act, have an excuse for acting whatever way they want to act. Man, that is wrong.
Black agitators, look at what they're doing to cops. Like, you're going to see Fox News coverage on this shit going crazy. I can see Donald Trump talking about this, being like, look, crime in New York City. Crime in New York City. Look, when I was president, I wouldn't have allowed this to happen. Joe Brandon. Of course, people with time to watch people play video games all day would also have time to go out and cause a riot, get a job. Telling people to get a job when they're like very clearly 12-year-olds is pretty funny. Nobody's got anything better to do. They're all fucking children, you know what I mean? It's like, calm down. Look at this. Look, like, they're all kids. Like, you could tell they're all kids. There is nothing these fucking losers hate more than like teenagers getting rowdy. They fucking lose their minds, okay? Oh, Jesus. The Republican media is gonna fucking, oh, they're gonna make mincemeat out of this. Kai Cenat gets put in the back of a police car after a Union Square Park giveaway goes wrong. Is it him? I don't think that's him. Oh, oh shit, it might be him. Yeah. The ABC 7 lady really wants to see Kai get arrested. Wait, really? Oh my God.
You know what, guys? I'm going to cut the video right here. But again, we know for a fact that the media is overwhelmingly liberal. So again, it's not about white supremacy. It's not about white supremacy being baked into the very fabric of the... No, it's not. So again, in New York City is overwhelmingly Democrat. Again, it's a very blue city. And you have a black mayor and a black chief of police. But again, it's all about white supremacy. No, it's not. Not even close. Man, so drop that BS, man. Really, seriously. Because all you're doing is you're causing more problems with this BS about white supremacy. And again, man, we have to arrest people, no matter what color they are. If they do something wrong, they have to be arrested. And again, people have got to understand that if you do something wrong, you have to be arrested. And again, that's why it's not, the crime is not stopping in Chicago and California and stuff. Again, it's not stopping. Why? Because again, they're not arresting these kids that are out there looting and jumping on cars and doing whatever and robbing stores. They're not arresting them. You know, they feel sorry for them. They're being oppressed. They're poor, oppressed kids, you know, like in Chicago. Oh, they're oppressed kids. We're not going to arrest them. Well, you better do something, you damn fool. Again, the only way that it's going to stop is if you hold them accountable for what they do. You know, again, if they're under the age of 18, hold their parents accountable for what they're doing. Again, if you hold mom accountable for what Junior's doing, guess what? That shit's gonna stop real quick. You know, mama don't want to be messed with. Mama don't want her pocketbook messed with. So again, if you hold her accountable for what her child is doing, it's gonna stop. It's going to stop. But again, we have to hold people accountable for what they do. And again, if you hold people accountable for what they do, it will stop. It will get better. But again, that's the only thing you can do. If you allow people to do whatever, you're making entitled people. You're making the youth entitled. They feel entitled to do whatever they want to do because guess what? They're oppressed. They're poor, oppressed kids. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not even in the least. As a matter of fact, they're self-entitled little brats. That's what they are. They feel they can do whatever it is they want to do. And they are. They're out there doing it. And that's what the problem is. And nobody will tell them that what they're doing is wrong. But hey guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a